Are pearls old-fashioned or are they timeless? In the recent news, the Queen Elizabeth has just passed, and I was inspired by her life of duty and her style and her styling herself with pearls to really do a full episode on the staying power and the styling of pearls. Pearls have been a long used accessory for many royals, not just Queen Elizabeth, and many political figures in our history. And not only have they been used and styled so many different ways, they've also had symbolic meanings in so many different cultures, and so many thoughts around pearls have been very timeless and lasting. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the staying and styling power of pearls and why they should be forever a jewelry box staple. Welcome to Waist Up Wardrobe. I'm Christine Vartanian, a civil engineer and attorney turned personal style expert and image consultant. As the founder of Jade for All Seasons, I am passionate about unveiling the inner confidence of my clients by developing their personal style. But is getting dressed up still important in our virtual world? Well, that's where my experience can help with what I call Waist Up Wardrobe. Waist Up Wardrobe is a podcast for all things you need to conduct an outstanding Zoom meeting. It's about how to dress for the camera, but it's not just about the clothes. It's about everything you need to know to show up on brand and professionally for the camera. Join me in the Waist Up Wardrobe studio to discuss how to navigate this virtual world and dominate from behind the desk. Hello, Virtual Nation. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Waist Up Wardrobe, where we'll bring you a fresh new episode every single time. This is episode 112. We've got 2 years of Waist Up Wardrobe recordings, everything that you have to know to dominate from behind the desk, and also learn about style and entrepreneurship and how to show up on camera looking your very best and very, very professional. So today, I was inspired by some headlining news. With the passing of Queen Elizabeth, I realized just how much during her service and during her duty to her country, she really used pearls as a styling staple in her wardrobe. But not only did she do that, so many royals had done that too. So it kind of prompted me to go back in history and understand really better why that was and what was the symbolism behind using pearls for so many royals and so many political figures. So we're going to dive deep into that. But before I get started, I want to say thank you for joining us for another episode and supporting this community. Thank you to my amazing producer, Rick Moscoso, who's always here in the production room making this entire show possible. And know that we are on so many different platforms. We're on iTunes. You can listen to us audibly. We are on YouTube. We stream every Thursday at 11:30 through Facebook. And we're live, so we can have a dialogue about all the topics that we talk about. And it has been a great journey bringing you new, fresh topics. Today, we also have a guest on the show who is a jewelry designer and an expert at the work that she does. And we're going to be picking her brain a little bit about what pearls really have symbolized throughout the years and why they are so important and why they have such staying power. So I'm going to get started with introducing my super cool guest, Julie Hales. Julie is a creative designer. Her creative abilities arose in elementary school when she began designing and creating her very own jewelry. She fostered a love for design through working in different various boutiques, upscale boutiques that really combined style of clothing with jewelry. She studied design and architecture at the University of Texas. And then she launched her very own line, which is a handmade jewelry line, accessories, Julio Designs, which I am a proud promoter of the company. And I am so excited to be carrying a trunk show of her amazing designs. In 2015, the rapid growth of Julio Designs brought a new sense of purpose, where she was uplifting women and reinvesting in their community. Not only are her products made in the United States, Julie proudly employs women, many who are mothers who really want that work-life balance, raising their children, but also having a career. And that is such an amazing thing. Thank you for doing that, Julie. And thank you for being on the show. Welcome to the show, Julie. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Christine. How are you?
Oh, I am so thrilled to have you here today. This topic it was kind of evolved into something so interesting. First, it started out as an inspiration because of just the idea that royals have really, really utilized pearls um, in a way that is always there, right? They always wear it in a certain way, and they've used it. And it dates back all the way to Queen Victoria sometimes. And Crystal Leone, I love your jewelry, she says, Julie. So thank you for being here, Crystal. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. We want to dive deep. Not only do we want to talk about what's going on when it comes to the royals or the political figures, but I want to talk about your experience as a jewelry designer, how it relates to this timeless gemstone of pearls. But before I get started, I want to just have people get to know you a little better. So I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Yeah. This and that question, super easy, but it'll give us a little bit of background on who you really are, right? Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. Do you have any dogs?
My husband has a dog.
Okay. That's interesting. He's your husband's dog, right?
Yeah, I was called, not my dog, not my dog.
Oh, it's his child. Okay. How about diamonds or pearls?
Oh, pearls, pearls. I mean, diamonds, of course, also, but pearls.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to ask me that question, I'd say both. Like
Yeah.
I do not discriminate between the two.
All of the above.
How about gold or silver?
Gold.
Okay, tell me why.
It's warmer, and I'm more of like I think people should wear to their skin tone. So I think it's more flattering for me personally. So there you go.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's definitely like not everybody can wear silver actually, I think. And I think that gold does have that sort of warmer feeling when you wear it. It's brighter, it's
Mhm.
happier, I think. And it goes with most skin tones and there's something sophisticated about gold, right? It also feels very royal. Don't you think?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely.
So, before we get started asking you like the deep questions, I just wanted to talk a little bit about just this idea of pearls, right? So, there's always pearls throughout the world have really had a lot of symbolism. According to history and myths, pearls are symbolic of wisdom in Chinese culture, and especially if you're in the martial arts, if you've ever been involved in martial arts, there's this idea of the dragons fighting over the pearl of wisdom, right? And we also refer to the pearls of wisdom when we are, talking about, nuggets of wisdom, which I think is so interesting that it comes from there. And there's all these shades of pearls. The classic shade, of course, of that white, creamy white classic shade has symbolized innocence and purity and peace and beauty and beginnings since the beginning of time. Is also symbolic of sincerity, based on some of the research I found. And it really is ageless and timeless. And it stands that test of time because if you really think about it, pearls kind of are formed in this living organism, right? And they do stand the test of time. The time is what creates them, and time is what forms them. And it's this sort of organic thing that is so beautiful. Sharon's here, and she says, "A pearl of wisdom." Hadn't thought of that connection. Yes. So, at Jade House of Style, we're all about mind, body, and soul. Not only is, clothes are so important, right? Accessories are so important, but they're really only a tool to uplevel our inside. So we are very connected to the wisdom and the soul. And so just bringing up this idea of pearl of wisdom is very connected to the whole, values and core values of my company. And in each, like, pearl is kind of different, which I think is so cool, right? They're often believed to provide the wearer strength and protection. That's another long lasting idea that was held in historically. And they have represented like love and purity, of course. And when somebody cares about somebody, it's a great gift to give, which I think is very, very interesting as well. So I'm curious, Julie, you obviously deal with a lot of gemstones, not just pearls, but when it comes to pearls, Can you give us sort of a list of what the different types of pearls are, whether it be color differences or shape differences?
Sure. The most rare and the most valuable are the natural pearls. They're the ones that occur in the oyster from the little speck of sand or just an irritant that gets into the oyster, and then the nacre forms around. The nacre is the pearly coating. So a little piece of sand goes in the oyster. The oyster gets irritated, literally, and starts to secrete a substance which coats the piece of sand so it's no longer irritating, and that continues to build up and build up and build up and build up over years, and that's what creates a natural pearl. Those are very few and very far between, and those are by far the most valuable. It's very interesting, if you ever don't do this because they're valuable, but if you ever have a broken pearl, you can see the rings like a ring of a tree on the inside of the pearl. It's absolutely fascinating. Another type of pearl is what a cultured pearl, and that's most of what we see now. And that occurs when you insert the irritant into the oyster to cause the oyster to start creating the pearl. And then they can cultivate them in ponds, and that gives you freshwater pearls. So the others are from the saltwater, and these are in freshwater, and they're pearl farms. So they have oysters in the water, and they culture the pearls. And then you go into what are called glass-based or shell-based pearls, which are artificial imitation pearls, but they can be extremely high quality. And so they have a nice hefty base to them in glass or shell, and then that has an artificial coating on it. And those can last. I mean, they're not going to last forever like a genuine pearl would, but they're great for fashion.
Wow.
So I like to work in the natural freshwater pearls, because then you get kind of the best of both worlds. You get a decent price that most people can afford, but yet it's a natural thing that's caused by nature, like you said.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. I mean, that's such a wealth of knowledge. What you just gave us right now, these tidbits, like I did not know all those details, right? And I just think it's so fascinating that, you got this gemstone that's formed inside of like a shell or mollusk, right? And that they're just kind of these rare miracles of nature.
Mhm.
And it's just organic, and there's something so fascinating about that. And as it to humans, really, from ancient times, but also this idea of nature, right? And
Mhm.
how exciting nature can be. And also, as I was kind of preparing for the show, there's all different cultures had different symbolic meanings for pearls. So like the Greeks believed that they were formed from the tears of gods, and the Hindu culture, pearls were associated with the moon and symbolizing wisdom and purity. In Chinese tradition, the pearl was placed in a dead person's mouth as protection to like aid them in their journey for afterlife. I mean, they've really intrigued cultures over time,
Mhm.
right? And they just have been very significant over across all cultures, really. So and that's kind of why pearls seem so unique and different, because they are considered a gemstone. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they are unique in that they are formed, they're not like mined, but they are formed as, in this living organism.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just so fascinating. So I have these like graphics to show that Rick will bring up in a second. They're like the formation of these pearls in clams, and it's so interesting. You see here, you've got the white pearl and the gray pearl. How do you know, or do you have an indication of how that might occur in terms of color?
It depends on the variety of the mollusk or the oyster that is making the pearl. It generally will match the inside of a pearl. The inside of the shell that's mother of pearl. You've heard of mother of pearl?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what the coating on the inside of that shell is. So if it's a white mother of pearl, it secretes a white nacre. If it's a gray, like an abalone shell, those are those really gray
Yeah.
peacocky color. That's where you get the peacock color pearls, which is the one on the right.
Incredibly beautiful. It's just unbelievable. And
Yeah,
there
and no two are ever going to be alike, ever. I mean, they
are
are completely unique. And if you think your matched earrings are matched, they're really not.
Yeah, but that's what's so special about them, right? That's
Mhm.
what makes things like that so special. And so there are so many different colors of pearls as well. And the next graphic shows a lot of these, different variation in color. So there's the creamy whites, and then you got the more yellow ones. You got chocolate brown pearls, right? And gray. And I understand that blue pearls are the rarest. Is that correct?
Yeah, the ones on the bottom row are going to be most of those come from kind of down in like Tahiti, like South. They're kind of called South Sea pearls, and that's where those particular species of the shellfish live. So that's where they come from.
So, what's so incredible as I look at this chart right here? We're just like, I think human beings and just nature and life is all in these tones, right?
Mhm.
Like we have different skin tones and all these, the creamy whites to like the peaches to then the more yellows to then the darker bronzes. I mean, isn't that incredible that you got nature mimicking itself?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. We joke when we when we see something that's badly dyed, we jokingly will say that's a color not found in nature.
Yeah. Yeah. I always think that's funny with like hair dyes, right? When people like are in like these bright pinks, it's like what?
Yeah.
Like, what's the real color? Yeah, no, I totally understand that. So we talked about a little bit cultural background and ancient history. Why do you think that pearls have been so timeless? Why do you think just over and over again people keep wearing them and they just don't seem to ever go out of style?
I think it's because they're rare and special. And I think everyone, in ancient times there were no artificial pearls. Artificial pearls didn't come into being until like the late 1600s in Japan. Just another fun fact. I'm full of fun
Love
facts.
that.
But they were so rare, and you're out and you're fishing for oysters, and you're getting all this oyster stuff, and then all of a sudden is this just gorgeous luminous thing, and you cherish it and you want to show people and give it to someone you love, and then they wear it as an expression of this person gave this to me. And I think they just always had that. You hand down your grandmother's pearls. I mean, when you get your grandmother's strand of pearls, it means so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just always been meaning attached to them. And I
Yeah.
think it goes back to the rarity. That's my guess.
Yeah. Absolutely, back to rarity, but the also just the unique way in which they are formed, I think
Mhm.
is just such an incredible, it's like a story, right? It's a
Mhm.
story of the pearl, and I think it's so interesting. So, if we because this show was inspired by, the recent passing of Queen Elizabeth, I was really prompted to think about the fashion and the style, because that is just, it's been so influential to the world as in with politics as well. But there's century of symbolism wrapped up in this sort of royal pearls. Throughout her life, Queen Elizabeth was rarely seen without pearls, whether it was combined with diamonds or just on their own at funerals, at appearances. She was always donning some kind of a pearl, either earring or necklace or brooch or crown, perhaps. And when they paid final respects recently to her, everybody in the royal family was sort of wearing some form of pearls, whether it was, Princess Kate or, Meghan Markle. They were all really donning pearls because of this sort of long-lasting tradition where female members of the royal family have been following this sort of protocol where, during her funeral, as they have for many years before that, as did Lady Diana. She always was seen wearing pearls, as in this picture right here, but also at other funerals where, even like great Princess Grace of Monaco's funeral, she was wearing that. And I know that there was a famous quote by her. Is that right? About pearls?
Yes, I believe when she was still Grace Kelly, she said, "Pearls are the queen of gems and the gem of queens."
Yeah.
And I think that's so perfect. It's
Yeah.
so perfect.
Yeah.
Another observation I've had with pearls is that you can be elegant and kind of showy, but it has that understated tone. So I think that's why you see them at the funerals. They want to look well dressed, they want to be well put together, and they want to be well accessorized, but you don't want to show up to a funeral and be the center of attention.
Yeah.
It's an understated, dialed back elegance. So you're still showing up in your best, but it's not flashy. It's not over the top. It's not, hey, look at me. There's restraint, I think, with pearls.
Yeah. So true. I actually read that somewhere where they said that it kind of pearls. There was a historian that, as I was kind of formulating the idea behind the show, there was a historian that had said that it's very traditional, obviously, but she also said that it was about the suppression of color, right? And that pearls are not glittery or brash, and that by choosing them, they were being low key but also respectful. So it's exactly what you're saying. So interesting, yeah. And it's interesting because it also dates back to like Queen Elizabeth I, right? Where she was often in many of her portraits depicted with pearls. That was kind of a staple. And during that Renaissance period, there was this sort of the rarity and their high value. They had become associated with wealth and her social rank, but also because Queen Elizabeth was portrayed as the virgin queen, they symbolize purity, and that's why and chastity, and that's why she wore them in a lot of her portraiture. So it was interesting, just the symbolic nature dating even back to Queen Elizabeth I. And I know in politics they're always being used.
Yes, I have looked at, we did a collection a couple of collections ago and we always name our pieces because numbers are just boring, right?
Yeah.
And we name them after first ladies. And when I was doing that, I've learned that almost without exception, every single formal first lady's portrait, she's wearing pearls. And it goes all the way back to Martha Washington. So they have been around forever. I mean, we all remember Barbara Bush.
Yeah.
I mean, she made the joke about they covered up all her neck wrinkles. That's what that was her words. But that's why she wore that big triple strand all the time. And they were also, I think people wear a favorite piece of jewelry because it gives them confidence and security. And I think pearls do that for you. You put on your pearls and you're like, yep, here we go.
Yeah. And it's so interesting. Even if you go, I think that's so fascinating that even in politics with the first ladies, they always wore pearls. Did you say to me that they always wore pearls like at their portraits, in their first portraits?
Yeah, in their official White House portraits.
Yeah.
Almost every single one of them. And even, of course, you see them at state events too.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to that whole, they don't want to be garish. They don't want to be too much, but it's that understated, restrained elegance, but it's a confident elegance.
Yeah. I mean, as I, prepared for the show and as I have this conversation with you, I'm getting falling more and more in love with pearls just because of just the idea of the way that they happen to be and become, and just this understated sophistication that they really portray and symbolize, even dating back to Queen Victoria. So that's when sort of it was very much associated with mourning. That's kind of what I had learned, and that she always wore pearls in a lot of her portraits as well, but it was associated with mourning. And like we've seen in many funerals, they're always donning that because it has that muted sophistication. So very interesting idea. And we see the Duchess of Cambridge and all the other even younger royals, the more modern day royals, still, wearing pearls in their accessorizing. So it just kind of goes to show how timeless and the staying power that it has. And I'd love to see, we actually have a couple portraits of Queen Victoria and Queen Elizabeth I. If Rick, you can bring it up. And Sharon is saying, I'm totally getting my pearls back out to wear. Yes, this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to inspire the audience to look at their pearls in a different way. And I don't know if, Rick, you have that portrait of Queen Elizabeth the first, the sketches of her and Queen Victoria to put up there. If you do, we'd love to see them. I'd love to show the audience really how they're portrayed in portraiture. And this is the thing, right? You see how far back it dates, and then you see that we still wear them. And I really love pearls, and I love to wear pearls also in modern ways, right? So not necessarily your traditional necklace, but you want to be able to wear them in a way that is current, right? So and also aligns with your style. So I happen to curate a lot of pearls. Many of them are not actual real pearls, but I'm wearing some circle pearls now. I will be carrying some of the pearls that you design yourself. In fact, you're wearing a pair right now that with the hashtag Pearls and Shine, the first person who puts the hashtag Pearls and Shine will get a pair of these freshwater pearls, right?
Freshwater.
And so put in the hashtag Pearl and Shine to get those pearls, so that because Julie is so generously gifting that to the first person who does that. But some modern ways, like I source some other jewels, and you can see how the usage of pearls in a way that's a little bit different, right? And I have another jewelry designer who creates these pearls that are, I guess are these kashi pearls, or sort of the irregular ones?
Yeah, they're cultured. And what they do, especially with those rectangle ones, they'll put a little piece of rectangular mother of pearl into the oyster, and then when it forms, it kind of free forms around it. Those are wonderful. They're called Baroque pearls is the term. They're one of my favorites. I love those.
Yeah, and so I actually love
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I love them because they feel organic. They're not contrived. They just are very interesting, and they're nested in these gold nests, actually. And then here's like another style of earring with the like little kashi pearls, and mother of pearl, right? There's also this idea of mother of pearl that we can use, and my blouse happens to have pearls on them. Of course, they're not real, but they do give you that effect of how you can use pearls in so many ways, right? Not just in the jewelry, but even in some of your accessories, like your like other accessories like purses and shoes, and in all different ways. And they're white, and that's so sophisticated. There's nothing more sophisticated than that sort of creamy white that you can wear. And so we got Sharon Evans, Acres Jewelry Designs, the most awesome jewelry, she says. Oh, yes, it is awesome jewelry. I'm so excited that I'm going to get to have a full collection of Julio's designs in my collection. I'm really, really thrilled and excited about that. Thank you for working with me, Julie, and helping me provide that to my customers, because they're very special pieces. So what would you say to people who think like pearls are old-fashioned? What do you think?
Well, I mean, absolutely not. We try when we're designing, when I'm designing things, I will look at current trends. So when all that delicate baby chain started becoming very popular a few years ago, we incorporated pearls into it because it just made sense. So we try to take the current trends with the paperclip chain that's so popular right now. We have a bunch of paperclip chain pieces that have the pearls in it. So I think the pearls lend themselves because they're just so basic, but not in a bad way, not in the basics.
Yeah.
They're just so universal, let's use that term, that they lend themselves to everything. We jokingly say our corporate colors are turk and pearl because we make everything in turquoise and pearl. And we're like, okay, what colors should we do this in? Turk, pearl, and then we go into other colors because we know that pearl will always be one of our top selling colors. Yeah. Always. It always has been and always will be. But I think they're just they're so flexible to work with. It's the organic nature of them. But you can, like, I have on a stretch bracelet. I mean, that's a very modern take on it. The little hoops. It doesn't have to be your grandma's button clip-on earrings. You can definitely take them and elevate them and update them and keep them current.
Yeah. And I love the traditional way, like if you have a long strand of pearls, just wearing them and knotting them. I mean, there's nothing more classic than that. It's just such a great classic timeless look, and it will always be elegant. And so do you have like a favorite type of pearl or shape of pearl or color pearl that you like to work with when you're designing?
I gravitate toward the white pearls just because I like them. I love coin pearls, those disc-shaped flat ones. I like to touch them. They're very tactile. And then just your basic round, they call them potato pearls because they're never perfectly round. A lot of things we do are potato pearls. That's a great shape. And then I've become quite enamored with these little seed bead cluster ball pearls. They're crocheted together and then there's just little orbs, and this is kind of my latest obsession is these. They're just so much fun.
Yeah, and I saw that in your collection you have them in earrings as well.
Did them in earrings, and then we also did just a single one on a baby chain. super
Yeah.
delicate,
I love
much young, more modern, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And so, these tiny little pearls, I have like a little bracelet that has like these tiny little pearls. Those are those seed pearls? Is that what they
Seed
call?
pearls.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so they're just baby ones. Like maybe they kind of get them out before they
Yes.
fully form. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They're younger. They're baby
Yeah.
pearls.
They're baby pearls.
They're baby
Yeah.
pearls.
So it's so fascinating too how like the ultimate shape of the pearl, the way it ends up kind of is informed by the way it begins, right? Like if they're putting a flat starter, right?
Mhm.
Or a grain of sand to culture it.
Yeah, that, and then if the oysters are not turned on a regular basis, they can develop a flat side, which some people like.
Yeah.
So if you've ever seen the Baroque pearls that are very, very flat on one side, that's just because the oyster set I mean, it just forms. And then if they keep rotating, they'll get rounder and rounder.
Yeah.
So, but you've seen like five-pointed star-shaped pearls and diamond-shaped pearls and heart-shaped pearls, and it's just because they put a piece into the oyster of that shape. So you can really they can be anything. I've
Yeah.
seen all sorts of interesting things. And
Yeah.
then the longer they sit in the oyster, the larger they become, or they can start with a larger base piece, which makes the bigger pearls happen quicker.
Yeah. No, and so how about like the discs though? How does that form? Because that seems a little bit more regular in shape.
They put a little piece in, a little mother of pearl coin shape in there, and then they do continue to rotate so they don't stick to the side of the shell.
Yeah.
And then they're all drilled after the fact. So we buy them drilled, but someone has to sit and put the tiniest little drill bit through all of the, ponder that one for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That seems like a job, right?
It's a job. Yeah.
um so I just think just having this opportunity to design with pearls can be very exciting because you can get them in so many shapes and sizes and colors. Do you have a favorite that you love to design with?
White. And I am obsessed recently also with the Baroque shape that you
Yeah.
were showing me on that piece you held up, because
Yeah.
they're so organic and no two are ever going to be the same. And
Yeah.
so I've tried to do some kind of asymmetrical, a little more contemporary looking pieces with those. And those are fun.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about like what inspires your designs in general.
Oh gosh. I always do say a good glass of wine definitely helps.
Yeah.
I will look at current trends, but I don't copy current trends, but I'm definitely inspired. So I'll look at runway. There's a few designers that I always look at: Chanel, Dolce & Gabbana, some of my huge favorites. And then I kind of try to interpret that for a more, everyday kind of person that's not so unobtainable, because so much of that runway stuff, nobody's going to wear it in real life anyway. Um, but there's lots of layers. Chanel always does what you're talking about, the long ropes dripping with pearls. And so we'll do that kind of thing every once in a while. And then we try to reinterpret it. What could you do with that lariat? Could it be a belt? Could it be a headband? Could it be a bracelet? The strand you were playing with earlier, you should try to coil it around your wrist as many times as you can.
Yeah.
Because that would make a great bracelet.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love thinking of new creative ways to wear them. And that's kind of what keeps things current and keeps things signature, right? The way you style it, the way you wear it. So, I have a question for you, because this is something that I think it's true, but to test the realness of pearls, is there a test? Because I think I know that there is one, but can you tell us?
Yep. You bite it. You drag it across your teeth, which is kind of gross, but you really do bite it. And if it's real, it's going to feel like sandpaper. It's going to be gritty. And if it's smooth, then that's got a coating on it and it's artificial. And I have a funny story. It was terrible. My husband bought me lovely pair of pearl stud earrings. This was a million years ago. And I wasn't thinking, and I immediately pulled them out of the box and bit them. I know.
Wait, what were they? Were they real?
They were real.
Okay, good.
I was like, oh, pearl earrings. And I really just did that in front of him. Wow.
It's just your profession. I mean, that's like, it's your profession. So
I know.
the thing to do.
I know. But oh
Yeah.
well. But yes, and you should try it because it is really, it's like you will be you'll be like, ugh, if it's real.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a surefire test. And that's exactly what I had been taught. My mom had taught me that if you put the pearl between your teeth, if it slips, it's not real, which means, it's kind of smooth. And then if it doesn't slip, then it has that grittiness that indicates that it is genuine. So I thought that's an interesting little tidbit for our audience to know. Hashtag pearls and shine, because with the hashtag pearls and shine, the first person who puts the hashtag pearls and shine will get a pair of the hoops that Julie is wearing. And we have people listening to on a replay too. So whoever puts that in first and hears this will get that pair. And, we always wrap up, Julie, with sort of this idea of like the main takeaway. And I think one of the main takeaways, as I have had this conversation with you, is that pearls will always be timeless. They will always have a function in your wardrobe as a woman. And whether you combine them with another gemstone or wear them on their own, wear it traditionally or wear it in a very unique way, they are sort of a staple for the jewelry box. Would you agree with that? And Catherine is here. She's saying lots of good information and she loves the fun stories, and hashtag pearls and shines to get those pearl earrings that Julie is modeling for us today. And so what do you think about that?
It's like, I believe it was Sharon that commented that she's going to pull her pearls out. Don't think they're just stuffy and boring and old. You can layer them up with other things. The whole neck mess thing where you wear all the multiple necklaces is very, very on trend right now. So grab your grandmother's strand of pearls, throw that in there with your initial necklace and your baby chain and maybe another gemstone, and just start to incorporate it in there. There was I love gemstone quotes, but I believe Jackie Kennedy said pearls are always appropriate. I mean, it's kind of like a little black dress, your little LBD, like it's going to be your go-to. You throw something in your suitcase when you go on vacation, you will have your little black dress, you will have your strand of pearls. No matter what you're faced with, you will look perfect.
Yes, exactly. Timeless and classic as always. And a tip here was one of the key tips that we got to learn is how to test for a genuine pearl. And Sharon UC is saying, I'm wearing them tonight on our pub crawl. Okay. Well, I'm glad we had this conversation, Sharon. And go ahead, put the hashtag. If you're on here and you're the first person to put the hashtag pearls and shine, you will get the hoops that Julie is modeling. And finally, an action item, just like Sharon was saying, going to that jewelry box and seeing how you can freshen up the look of your pearls, I think is a great takeaway. Oh, Sharon got the earrings. Sharon got the earrings. Hashtag pearl and shine. And I'm so excited for you. I'm actually going to be carrying these earrings, so my clients will get to invest in those if that is their style, and we'll style the clients up with that. But that tool of being able to test the pearls is really cool. And then the action item is kind of going back into the jewelry box and kind of freshening up your pearls look. Do you have any other action items for our audience, Julie?
I would go through your jewelry box. I mean, I think that's a great idea. I know I have like the little bottom drawers and the Ziploc bags at the back of the drawer. This weekend, go in there and dig everything out and look at it and see what you have. I bet you've got treasures you've completely forgotten about.
Absolutely.
And wear them. They need to be worn. They actually shine better when they come in contact with your natural oil from your skin.
Okay.
It makes them even more lustrous and luminous the more you wear them.
So that's an interesting fact. That's an interesting fact right there. I mean, because it's well known, like if you wear turquoise and you get perfume on it, it will discolor it, right? Mm-hmm. So if you wear your pearls, it actually enhances their luster.
Yeah. Now you want to keep all of your hair stuff and perfume stuff away from it. It's just not good for anything. Yeah. But you never want to like scrub or wash pearls. You just want to take a soft cloth and just clean a little bit and then put them in a nice like a cloth bag in the drawer. But wear them.
Yeah, that is the best action item. I'm wearing my pearls today, and I wear pearls often depending on what I'm doing, but I love pearls. I think they're ultimately sophisticated and they will always be in style. They'll never go out of style, and they are definitely the go-to gemstone for the royals. So that is always something to be interested in if you're thinking about style in general and fashion. And of course, Chanel always made stuff with pearls. I mean, gosh, that is like the biggest fashion house in the world, and they still style with pearls. So we know that they are a real big staple for most women. So thank you for being here, Julie. What a wonderful, wonderful interview and dialogue. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Waist Up Wardrobe Nation, Sharon and Sharon, the other Sharon and Catherine, so many of you who are going to be listening to the replay on this. Julie, as a final, I just want to know if people want to check out your designs or learn more about your story, where should they go to find you?
Go to juliodesigns.com. So it's JULIODESIGNS.com. And then you're carrying just a lovely curated capsule collection. You have great taste. You pick the best things. So they can get them from you as well.
Yes, they can. But if you want to see a more robust collection, please visit Julio Designs website. We put that here in the comments, so it will be living on our website. It's this evergreen. You can come back and listen to this if you want to learn all these interesting facts about pearls and why you should have them. But also check out juliodesigns.com. And if you want to learn how to pair Julio Designs pearls or any of their designs with your clothes, reach out to me because I can definitely help with that. Thank you, Waist Up Wardrobe Nation, for another amazing show. Thank you for being part of it. Thank you for everybody who's listened to it and really think about taking some of these little tidbits back to your closet and putting them into action, because it can be really fun and a great fresh way to look at your pearls. So with that, that's a Waist Up Wardrobe weekly wrap up, and I will look forward to seeing you next week at the same time, same place, 11:30 Pacific Standard Time, where you can join us and tell a friend about us. So, Julie, this might go down as one of my favorite shows. I love the history. I love the idea of, just amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
For honoring me with your presence and really making this show a great show. I appreciate you.
It was fun. Thank you.
Yeah. And Sharon got the pearl earrings. So
cool.
Do you have a way to get them to her? Or?
Yeah. I'll just, it's Sharon Yusi, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get her to
always refer back to the Facebook, Waist Up Wardrobe Facebook page for any more comments, or if you want to respond to any of these people. I mean, I'm imagining Catherine is somebody you know.
Yes.
Vicky, and the other Sharon Akers. Yes.
It's funny. She used to work for me, gosh, like 5 years ago.
Oh, how funny. Okay,
I should reach out to her because we need
You
people.
should. Yeah, you should. Whatever. We're still live, by the way. This is still a live feed, just so you know, because we keep it live for people to kind of see the behind the scenes. I just want you to know that, so you're not surprised. And then Cristal Leon, is that somebody?
Yes, she is our sales manager.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that listen to this on the replay, and so they'll get to learn about you. And I can't wait to carry your designs. I'm so glad.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so glad that we got to connect and that you were persistent and didn't give up on me, because I know that we've tried to connect so many times and it was me. I never really followed up. So I appreciate you being patient with me, and I can't wait to really offer this new collection, just a whole new world to the clients. So, because, I love to give them unique things, right? So, I mean, I carry, I was showing you some of the other jewelry lines I carry. I love that unique artistry, and I want everybody to have a signature style. So people, I want to offer different things to different people. So I love that I get to curate from all these different artists. And
well, and like I said, if you have an idea in your head, if you say this dress needs
yeah,
this, it needs to hit here, it needs, we can do that.
yeah, I love that. And so I'm working with this Baha'i Designs, who does these, these things
I
that I
love
was
that.
doing. Yeah, pretty amazing. I'm working to do a jade exclusive. Like, I just want like a little thin kind of choker style chain with a little twisted piece. He does these like twisted gold pieces. So that's his signature. But I would love to start thinking about what I can have exclusive from you. And I kind of like it to be exclusive because I want it to be like a jade exclusive. So it would be something that I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, everything is handmade, so I know that it would get reproduced differently, but I want it to be like my exclusive piece, right? They can't get it anywhere else. So, but yeah, so we definitely should talk about that.
Yeah. I think it needs to be earrings because you love earrings so very much.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. And I'm just trying to think about, well, like, I want to study your line more and figure out what I love the most and what is resonating with people the most, and then kind of create something that is classic, timeless, that they could wear with everything, really. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, I was too slow. Jeez.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
It was really a good show. Do you want to kill the feed or?
Yeah. No.
Oh, because we're going to do the speedy recap. Okay, let's do the speedy recap really quick then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you're ready.
Okay. Are pearls old-fashioned or are they timeless? Well, I was inspired by the recent news I'll start over again. Are pearls old-fashioned or are they timeless? Well, I was inspired by in the recent news. I'll start over again. Are pearls old-fashioned or are they timeless? Well, in the memory of Queen Elizabeth, I wanted to do a show where we talked about how the royals have used pearls in their style and how it's been very lasting and timeless, really, and dates back to all the way back to Queen Victoria and even beyond that. Not only with the royals, but in politics as well. You see that every first lady has had a portrait taken with pearls. So pearls are timeless and they can be worn in a modern way. So in this episode, I'm going to show you all the ideas behind pearls. We're going to explore the history behind pearls, how they actually are formed through these living things, these clams that form them. And we're going to talk about how you can take them, make them modern, and make them very hip so that you can wear them with every outfit that you have.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Part 2.
Yeah. In episode 112 of Waist Up Wardrobe, the wardrobe, blah, blah, blah. In episode 112 of Waist Up Wardrobe, the Waist Up, blah, blah. In episode 112 of Waist Up Wardrobe, staying and styling power of pearls. In episode 112 of Waist Up Wardrobe, the staying and styling power of pearls, I'm going to discuss. In episode 112 of Waist Up Wardrobe, the styling and staying power of pearls, the Waist Up Wardrobe weekly wrap up in a nutshell boiled down to this. The main takeaway is pull those pearls out of your jewelry box because they are a staple. They have staying power. They date back all the way in history. They have such symbolic meaning of purity and elegance. And they are this muted gemstone that comes from a living thing that is so unique because that is what makes that gemstone so unique and stand out next to any other gemstone that is mined. This is something that is created in a living mollusk or clam, and that makes it so fascinating. One tip to remember is if you want to test the genuine nature of the pearl, you hold it between your teeth If it slips, it's not real. That is a really great tip that we learned during this show. So take it and use it so that you can test the pearls that you invest in if you're so interested to do that. And remember, we had a very special guest on this episode, Julie Hales, who is a jewelry designer who works with pearls and so many other gems and metals to create unique designs for her clients. And she gave us a wealth of information about the history of pearls and also how to wear it. So go listen to the episode. That's a great tool to learn more about pearls and how you can wear them. And finally, action item, go into your jewelry box, dig into it, and find those pearls from grandma, find a different way to wear them, and make them very current and very modern.
Perfect. All right, let me kill.
Okay.